this memorial walk. We want to really do it annually. It's really important that we're here at this place where Ezra was on his way to do chesed. And it was right here, right outside Alon Shvut, where this pigua happened. And the sadness, obviously, and the devastation were unbelievable. And it's not easy. Obviously, it's not easy for anyone. It's not easy at all. But it's something that I think it's important that we're here all together today to do this, to continue the path that Ezra was on that day exactly 2 years ago. Tonight, Zion Kislev. Tonight, tomorrow, our Zion Kislev. To continue on the path of doing chesed. He was going to VeGaon, and so we're going to walk to VeGaon. He was going there to do chesed. We're going to go there and live and be happy and talk about Ezra and think about your memories of him on the way. And think about his tchunot and the things about Ezra that made you smile and that made you laugh and that made you happy. Okay? So let's all walk together and
Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch le'olam va'ed. 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 Hallel Hashem Elohim, Ve'agaleinu b'todah. Hallel Hashem Elohim, Ve'agaleinu b'todah. Yud v'hei v'vav v'hei. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Yud v'hei v'vav v'hei. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch le'olam va'ed. 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 Hallel Hashem Elohim, Ve'agaleinu b'todah. Hallel Hashem Elohim, Ve'agaleinu b'todah. Yud v'hei v'vav v'hei. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Yud v'hei v'vav v'hei. Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch le'olam va'ed.
בן אדם, עלה למעלה, עלה למעלה, עלה בן אדם, עלה למעלה, בן אדם, עלה למעלה, עלה למעלה, עלה בן אדם, עלה למעלה, יש לך כנפי רוח, יש לך כנפי רוח, כנפי נשרים אבירים, אל תיקח אש בים, פן יכחשו לך, בראש אותם בראש בן אדם, וימצאו לך מיד.
So welcome to Ginato's Ezra. Last year on Ezra's first Yortzeit, we dedicated this area of Givados VeGaon in memory of Ezra. This is the place he was coming to help beautify this location, this park that was dedicated in memory of the three boys, because Ezra felt very connected to and very moved by that whole, and saddened by that whole experience, and so he was coming here to volunteer. So it's only fitting that we walk here today and spend some time here, and it was also fitting to have an area of this park also, you know, not only a mitkan that is bought in memory or dedicated in memory of Ezra, but actually have a section of the park that people could come whenever they want and chill and think. And I actually came here myself on Yom HaZikaron and sat for a little while. And just, you know, I have a friend who comes here and he has a chavrusa, and he comes and he sits at picnic benches and he has a chavrusa here. Very late hours at night. There's so much that still can be done here, and if, you know, anybody can come here and add to the park and or just come and play football. It's something Ezra probably would have loved to have done. You can find some rocks from the Teva and pick up, you know, you can find some larger ones, smaller ones. And last year we left rocks around this tree, and if you see, you can't see them here anymore because they've been taken back into nature basically throughout the year. Maybe the ones this year that we make we'll try to have them a little bit more permanently stay, but if they don't, that's also okay, because this is, you know, it's coming to be part of Eretz Yisrael and part of Oz VeGaon and part of Ginato's Ezra. And that's why it's like it's such a nice tradition to leave these rocks here and just enjoy this meditative rock garden area in memory of Ezra. So come on in.
Running from the cold up in New England, I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. My baby plays the guitar, I pick a banjo now. Oh, North Country winters keep forgetting me, and I lost my money playing poker, so I had to up and live. But I ain't turning back to live that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Walking due south out of Roanoke, I caught a trucker out of Philly, had a nice long toke. But he's headed west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee. And I gotta get a move on before for the sun. I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that she's the only one. And if I die in Raleigh, at least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
I just wanted to thank all of you for being here. Thank all of you. It's very special that you're there. For me, it feels really good that this whole program is going on for Ezra and at VeGaon, where he, because I know that Ezra, boys were kidnapped. I remember Ezra being really concerned about them and worried about them and asking me, do you think that they could still be alive? Do you think they're going to find them? And then, he kind of followed the whole thing over the next 18 days. And I remember that he called me from Israel, because he was in Israel later on. And he told me, Mommy, they found him. And I just remember that he was so affected by and killed, and that right away when he went to Israel and this trusted opportunity came up, he told me, I'm going to volunteer at VeGaon, and he said, the park that's dedicated to the three boys. And so I just know, and I remember him telling me that it was really hard work, because they were moving rocks, and they were really preparing the ground, but he felt good being there. So it feels good to help continue beautifying the park, and just enjoying the park. So I'm glad that you're all there, and really, it's really special to us that you're doing this. So I wanted to just tell you maybe one, story about Ezra. We've been hearing several stories from some of his friends, and one of his friends just recently told us a story how Ezra, I think it was when he was in Israel in October, he had gone to party, and then he went back to Bar Ilan, and this other friend came a little bit later and couldn't get in, and he called a couple of his friends, and nobody answered except Ezra. And Ezra didn't belong at Bar Ilan, he was just visiting, so he couldn't let him in. So instead, Ezra packed up all his stuff, and he went outside. The two of them waiting for the next bus back to Beit Shemesh, and they walked around, they sat in the park, I think they went to a zoo, and they just spent hours, like probably about 6 hours till the bus, talking and getting to know each other. It was still early in the year, and his friends just, told us that he knew that night that he and Ezra were going to be really good friends, just because he just dropped everything out of bed and he came outside to keep him company, and they just ended up having the best time. And at 5 in the morning, they were walking around looking for pizza, and really, really appreciated that Ezra came out and stayed with him. And I think that just looked at it as like fun. Like that night was just so much fun, and that was a big theme of we were talking about this week. Ezra's whole mission in life was just to, have fun, help people have fun, and be happy. So that's as Rocky was saying before, it's so really important to think of Ezra with a smile, think of Ezra, the funny things he did, the special things he did for people, the emotional, caring part of him, and really just, try to bring that into our lives and keep him present in that way.
Pam, would you want to say? So what I've learned from Ari and Ruth over the past 2 years is, there's no way to address the void that Ezra left. There's no way to fill it, but it can be addressed. It's beautiful and moving the way they make a point of talking about him and maintaining his presence in their lives and in the lives of the people he touched. And so I thought I'd say a few words about what I think of when I think of our time together. First, about the time he spent with the kids. I always appreciate Ezra's desire to hang out with our kids. The first Shabbat he came to us when he was here for the year, just before he left, I thanked him for spending so much time with our kids. And he looked at me with a genuine surprise and replied, "That's why I came." And so, when I think of him with each of my kids, I think of how he loved to play sports, yes, baseball, but also football and skiing, and how during play he would often offer Vitzalel tips and advice with sincerity and love of the game and without condescension. I envision him goofing around with Ellie. We have a selfie that I particularly love of her and Ezra sitting on our couch making funny faces. Molly sent it to me during Shiva when she found it on Ezra's phone. I think of the long lines while we were waiting to get on a cruise a few summers ago, and Ezra walking around with David on his shoulders, or of Ezra sitting in our living room reading Nachshon, a book. As for me, I cherish the pictures I can find of us together, first as a newborn, later as a kid. I found a stack of pictures from one Hanukkah when we were all in Vermont together, and in the background of the picture is me and Ezra hugging warmly. My eyes are closed. I remember that year, Ezra was probably around 14, and he had not yet gone through his growth spurt. I remember being impressed with how he made eye contact when we spoke, and how I loved how he would smile if you caught his eye from across the room. That year, we brought him pajama bottoms for Hanukkah, and they were way too big. But nevertheless, he put them on with a smile and laughed, never afraid to be silly, and thanked us with a warm hug. Incidentally, in that same pack of pictures are pictures of him playing and wrestling with David, and sitting with the cousins all together, and just as they snapped the picture, he kissed Nafshoni on the cheek. I also think of how he was open to share himself with us, especially during the precious few months we had him during his year here. How he came with his best friend and his girlfriend, and how he and I would text each other. It was during the time of the stabbings, and so every so often I would check in with logistics and see what was going on with him. And he would always answer with details of his life and a line about being excited to see us again. A month before the Pigua, on October 19th, Ezra texted me saying, "Hi, all is good here. Just praying for this craziness to stop." And he went on to say that he and Alana were planning to come for that Shabbat. He came, and we had a great time. He, Alana, and his best friend Jake, who was staying around the corner, joined Ellie and Yoav to walk our dog in the afternoon. Little did we know that Shabbat would be the last time we would see him. I have countless images in my head of Ezra and Yoav together. Recently, we actually just found a video from Ezra's 3rd birthday, where Ezra is overwhelmed by the chaos. Molly's running around, and Ezra is curled up in Yoav's arms, and they're whispering in each other's ears. It is incredibly sweet. So I have countless memories of the two of them together, from the time he was a baby when we all lived in Boston, to family ski trips, adventures, and hugging together. Molly sent me a picture from the cruise we went on, where Ezra got Yoav to stick his tongue out in the photo, and I smile every time I see it. And for Yoav, in addition to the pain that he carries for his brother Ari, and for Ruth, and for their kids,
each memory of Ari's family, and for his parents, sorry, I think about the loss of the precious year of time that he had with his nephew. The last Shabbat Ezra was here with us. Yoav came upstairs with a sparkle in his eye and told me how he felt the beginning of a shift in their discussions, how Ezra was open to him, was opening up to him about thoughts about the year and the future, and how he, Yoav, was thrilled at the opportunity that lay ahead to hang out with him. Over the past 2 years, it's been incredible how much we've learned about the Ezra that we never got to know. And so I'm thankful to have moments like this, where we can share and learn and increase the bank of memories that exist for this amazingly wonderful young man.
I want to thank Sarah for coming, because this is obviously a hard week as well for Sarah. And Sarah and Ruth have become close friends, and it's so important and so nice to be here. Is there anybody who wants to share? Yes.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kramer. I'm from Boston, and I'm here with a bunch of other MIMO kids. I'm at Yeshivat Har Etzion, just right around the corner this year. And I'm 2 years younger than Ezra, but we overlapped in high school for 2 years, and I had the honor of being playing on the baseball team with him, along with Avi and along with Zevi too. And also, I also was given at the end of my senior year, along with Avi and Eliza, we were both given the Ezra Schwartz mentorship and leadership award, which is given to a teammate who displays the same qualities that Ezra had, which is, you know, looking out for the younger players and making sure that they're up to speed and making sure that nobody's left behind and they're not straggling. So it's a great honor, and actually one more MIMO kid was supposed to make it, but he actually didn't get out of the Army in time this morning. But he also won the award too, Noah Frisch. So it's good that I have kind of this tangible like trophy that I have in my room all the time, and whenever I walk by it, it reminds me of Ezra. And there are a few other kind of things in my life that I've been honored to have too that remind me of Ezra. This past year was the first time they had the baseball tournament in honor of Ezra. I'm actually wearing the kippah right now, and it was just such a special weekend, you know, to spend in Sharon and to spend with the Schwartzes, and this year having Hillel on the team too with us was amazing, because I remember the first time we walked into tryouts, and Hillel was pretty young at the time, and we were thinking, okay, maybe he's going to make the team, maybe he's not going to make out the team, but maybe he's not going to make the team, but he came in with such a ferocity, and all the guys who had played with Ezra the year before kind of looked at each other and were like, oh my God, it's literally like looking at Ezra again, because everything that Ezra taught him, you could see they threw the exact same way. Their batting stance was the exact same. It was literally just like watching a mini Ezra run around out there, and that every time, you know, we saw Hillel on the field, it was just like seeing Ezra out there, also wearing the number 2, and so those are just kind of some of the memories I have. And to go back, I remember in a story about Ezra himself, when I was in 10th grade, I didn't make the baseball team, but something happened where a kid made the team but he didn't want to play. So I remember the captains kind of got around because they needed another player, and I remember Ezra specifically along with the other captains who chose me, and they said, you know, Coach, like Charlie tried out, and we think he should be on the team. We think he'd be a great addition. And I remember looking up to these captains that whole year, because, you know, I didn't make the team. It wasn't just the coach who saw me, but I really could see that the captains were the ones who wanted me on the teams. And I remember the first week we actually got on a baseball field, so we all wear our sneakers to school, and then we put on our cleats. And Ezra had worn his cleats home and forgotten his sneakers, and I was like the last one there. And I remember I took his sneakers back to my house and just like Facebook messaged him, hey, I have your sneakers, I'll bring them tomorrow at school to you in school. And so within a few minutes, he messaged back and said, "Hey, yeah, thank you so much." And then that could have been the end of the conversation there. We could have just said like, "See you in school tomorrow." But I remember specifically, I still have the conversation. He went on to say like, "Hey, you're looking good. You know, I know you're a week behind everybody because you came late, but keep staying with it. You'll only get better." And it was just kind of this nice thing. And I remember thinking like, wow, you don't have to do this, but it was just such a nice thing to hear from him. So those are my Ezra memories.
Ruth, my memories from Ezra are when we lived in, we were in Boston together, and Benji and Ari were in residency, and they were away pretty much every Sunday. And we both had memberships to the Science Museum, and we would take the kids just about every Sunday. And we would spend our time chasing after Ezra. He was so curious and so interested in everything there, and we would just like run through the place. And it was just so much fun to see him explore. And my favorite picture that we have is Michal, I don't know if she's 5 years old, dressed up as a princess with like a tiara, like a feathery tiara, and Ezra's like on his tiptoes leaning over, kissing her on the cheek. And it's just so sweet.
So I'm Deborah Geller. Hi, Ruth. I didn't know Ezra. I know him now through Rocky and Jeremy, through our neighbors, and through Pam and Yoav, who we're old friends with. But I think that for me, I think about Ezra and his life, and I've gotten to know him over the past few years through the wonderful things that people have said about him. And basically, I think about a life and the meaning of a life, and whether we're blessed with 120 years or sadly far too few years like Ezra was, the legacy is really what's left behind. And the things that I've learned from Ezra are the things that I would, that I would want in my own kids, that for them to learn the leadership and the chesed and the simcha and the simchat ha'chaim, and those amazing things, and the way that he lived his life, trying to always bring simcha to others, and not thinking about himself, but thinking about how he could make his friends and people around him, and even total strangers, happy. It's a schut to learn from him, and
Anybody else who would like to share?
I have something small to share. I'm Henrik. I'm actually I'm Ezra's friend from Germany. We met in Camp Yavne. And I just remember this one story when it was my first summer in Camp Yavne. I joined them pretty late. All the kids they already knew each other, and they were like a really close group and all very bonded. And I was this new kid, barely speaking English. And I remember one of the counselors walking me to the bunk, and then there were a few boys like playing basketball, and Ezra would be the one that would like come up to me, although like I'm the new kid and like from Germany, barely speaking English, and would introduce me to the group and really like taking me to play basketball with them, although I didn't know how to play basketball at all. Really, not a big sport in Germany. But he would like the moment I saw him, I saw what position he had in the group, and that everybody was looking at him as like kind of the leader. And the moment, like, it's always hard to join a new group that's already like very close, but he made it possible for me to join them, and I actually made like the best friends of my life there. And like one of them I'm still like very friends with, and Ezra was the second one, so we were like the three best friends ever since. And it's just like very, I don't know, like one of Ezra's traits that he was like so like such a good person. Just this new kid is there, and he's the one who's helping, giving hand. And the story you told about the baseball team, so that's like reminding me of one of those Ezra's traits. Like he could be just the person like, okay, there's a new kid who cares, like he'll get around, or he can be the one who's actually taking the things to himself. And ever since like we had I had the best summers of my life with him, and I got to know Ruth more, and Ari, and the boys, and Molly, and even visit him like a week before camp, and like he could have been the person who doesn't care, and like I have my friends, I don't need this new kid, but he was the one who actually made an effort to make me feel comfortable and introduce me to his friends, and it's just like best, like so many funny stories ever since, and I'm so happy that I got to know him and got to visit him. Unfortunately, he never came to visit me, although it was on the schedule, but I think you also never wanted him to come, no, Ruth? You wanted me to visit you, so it's just like one little brief memory of how I first met Ezra.
Thanks so much, Henry.
שיר למעלות, אשא עיניי אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם השם, עושה שמיים וארץ, אל יתן למות רגליך, אל ינום שומרך, הנה לא ינום ולא ישן, שומר ישראל, השם שומרך, השם צילך, על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה.
Barak was the prosecutor on the case, and he was amazing, and he formed a really close connection with Ruth and Ari, and I'm going to share this tiny little story. After the terrorist was convicted, after the case was over, Barak was caught in Tzok Eitan, the operation that took place after the 3 boys were kidnapped and killed, and he, not knowing the connection that Ezra felt to VeGaon, he gave his sikah. Everybody who fought in that operation got a pin when we were in the army, and he took his sikah and he gave it to Ruth at the end after the sentencing, and it was something that was very meaningful to him, and he gave it over because אתה יכול להגיד, בעברית גם כן, בסדר.
הרגשתי שלסיכה יש משמעות סימבולית על ההמשכיות, שלא משנה מה מנסים לעשות לנו, איך מנסים להילחם נגדנו, ולא משנה מה ינסו לעשות לנו, אנחנו תמיד נשאר פה ונמשיך הלאה. ואני חושב שהסיכה הזאת יכולה גם לסמל זו עובדה שלמרות שעזרא נפטר, רוחו שורה בינינו. אנחנו יכולים ללמוד מהדברים שהוא עשה ולהמשיך איתם הלאה. לקחת את זה למקומות שאנחנו יכולים לקחת את זה. כמו שרק אמרה מקודם, אם הוא עשה חסד, אנחנו נמשיך ונאדיר ונגדיל ונעשה עוד חסד. ונוכל באותה דרך גם לחנך את הילדים שלנו ואת הסובבים אותנו. ובגלל זה חשוב לי גם להביא לפה את הבן הבכור שלי, שגם יכיר קצת וישמע על עזרא, וידע גם הוא איך להביא את זה לתוך עצמו, איך לעזור לאחרים, איך לתרום לזולת, איך להיות שם בשביל האחר. אני מקווה שנצליח להמשיך את המסורת שלו הלאה.
תודה רבה לכולם שבאתם, שבת שלום.